Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to FlareX. I'm FlareX, and I'm super excited to dive into today's video. But before we do, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss out on any content from me. Now, let's jump right into today's video, gang, where we'll discuss the worst haircuts on YouTube. We all know what it's like to get a terrible haircut. I'm talking about hairline crooked, the fade not blended in, holding back tears while your barber's cutting your hair because you know he's massacred your hair, and there's nothing that can be done to save it. The peakest part is when he's showing you the finished results, and you pussy boys saying, "Yeah, this the one," or "You always get me right," whilst you're really deeping how you're gonna have to wear a hat for the next 2 weeks whilst your hair grows back, or how you're gonna have zero hose on your meat until your next haircut. And I know y'all still paying full price for it. In fact, most of y'all probably tipping extra. But when you do get a good haircut, that shit be the closest thing to superpowers you'll ever receive. You be walking out on top of the world. You feel damn near invincible. A +10 boost in all attributes. Like, no lie, there have been times where I've been feeling depressed, but after getting a haircut, I'm the happiest person in the world. If you ever feel downhearted or are having any problems, I promise get a quick haircut or even a line-up. If you still feel shit, or it's still a problem, then you know that it's a significant issue that requires professional help. Ha 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 ha. There actually needs to be studies done on the psychological effects of a haircut because that feeling cannot be explained. But imagine never getting to experience this. There are some guys who, no matter how good their barber may be, their hair will be eternally cooked, whereby not even if the hood elder of barbers attempted to save them, they would be able to resurrect these haircuts. With that, let's jump straight into the video with our first entry. This has to go to the group of Real Dreamers Change the World, or for short, RDC. Them boys in RDC really be on top of the world at the time of making this video. Their main channel is at 6.66 million subscribers, hopefully soon to hit 7 million. They're growing every day on Twitch, and their Dream Convention or DreamCon is one of the biggest conventions in the influencer space. It seems like everything them boys touch turns to gold. Everything besides their hair. It isn't necessarily that their trims are shit. It's the fact that they're just sorry. All of their haircuts, besides AFF, that boy dreads clean, and maybe Dylan. Excusing them, all of their trims are sorry. Firstly, we have to start off with Ben. This guy heavily weighs down the group as a collective. This horny, tall, for-nothing Bel Air born and bred nigga's trim is straight up nefarious. This nigga has a 1980s boys in the hood box on top of his head. I don't even know what this guy says to his barber whilst getting this, "Yeah, let me get the bootleg Will Smith with a dash of Smash Bros." Ben, you gotta stop doing your barber like this dog got him cutting your hair in tears and she. Can someone please tell me why this Leland guy has had the same doo-doo water ass trim for the last century? Besides, this guy's corners being pushed back every haircut, there's been no change. Is this his sorry-ass attempt at waves? Because if it is, there isn't even a ripple. That's just a calm ocean, perfect sailing waters. Did Mark think that Leland's hair was tough? Because he decided to copy and paste it on top of his own hair. Duplicating your little cousin's hair is crazy. Going to your barber talking about, "Let me get the Leland," or scrolling on Leland's Instagram and showing him pics of Leland's hair. But recently he's been growing it out, but because he didn't set the foundation correct by having a high skin fade, it's turning into a high top. Do not get a high top. The worst part is this guy used to have a nice haircut when he was getting tapers. Those trims used to go hard. Bro might need to bring that back because it was tough. As for John, all of his haircuts just be basic. I can't critic them, but neither can I praise them. As a group collectively, it's a shame to say, but they have the sorriest haircuts on YouTube. The next entry on this list is Chris, known as Chris Next Door, known best for being a member of AMP, whilst also being one of the most entertaining and underrated streamers. I know most of y'all have never seen him without a durag, cap, beanie, or hoodie on, but neither had I, until I was researching for this video, and it occurred to me, why is this the case? My spidey senses were tingling as it occurred to me something wasn't right. Why was his hair always covered? Either he had the most luscious, tight, rippling waves, or he had a Gideon hairline under there. Unfortunately for Chris, it was closer to the latter. I kid you not, the first time I saw this guy's hair without anything covering it, I thought he was Dr. Dre Chris Middleton looking ass. What's also up with these boys wearing durags like it's attached to them but having no waves? Wearing a durag for the sport is low-key crazy. For the amount Chris wears a durag, you'd think he was spinning a bit, but he ain't. He's probably telling people, my waves are on the way, Amazon done delayed this man's package for like 10 years. His main issue is that he let his barber push him back all the way to the end of the world. See me personally, if my barber pushed me back that badly, I would be dual-wielding grenades with switches attached. Or he would have had to catch these hands. The latter would probably be more fatal. My guy went from looking like an AMP member to looking like their manager, out here looking like Omar from the Let's Keep It a Buck podcast. Honestly, at this point, there's nothing that can be done to save him, but luckily for Chris, he has the perfect head shape for the Michael Jordan haircut, so it might be time for him to restart. Next, we have arguably the face of terrible haircuts within the YouTube space, KSI. KSI, known as Olajide Olayinka Williams, is arguably the biggest influencer in the UK. First starting out in 2009, originally posting content about video games with bangers such as Slave, FIFA, and Taylor, is a beast. Eventually dabbling into music where he would have success with tunes such as Hyper, Lamborghini, and Friends with Benefits before eventually transitioning into mainstream music, with songs such as Holiday, whilst gaining features from notorious artists including Anne Marie, Tion Wayne, Youngblood, Lil Wayne, Swarms, this being Prime Swarms, like he used to be good, and the GOAT of rap Polo G, whilst also juggling his endeavors in crossover boxing, being viewed by many as being the best within the space. As well as this, he is the co-owner of Prime, Denovan Vodka, and the restaurant Chainsides. But this can't be an excuse for his nefarious haircuts. Whoever is this man's barber and loctician is the modern-day equivalent of Robin Hood because they done robbed this man of his money. But instead of giving it to the poor, they done kept it. Got Robin Hood doing somersaults in his grave, questioning why didn't he do this. From 2011 to 2021, this man has only had one good haircut. In his 2011 to 2012 season, he had the typical African boy starter pack trim, no lineup, no fade-looking ass. When he had those peps on his head, bro was coming like your default black guy in Fortnite. You already know this guy had no VC, no V-Bucks because bro couldn't customize his character. But surely there can only be progress from here. Wrong. My guy really somehow downgraded from the starter pack yee-yee ass trim by acquiring a mohawk. This is the trim that every black guy thought would look cool in their head, but just came out looking shit in real life. This boy was walking around looking like Hog Rider, like dog. What is this man? However, he deserves credit because the amount of XP you need to let your parent let you have that doo-doo lamp on your head is insane. The saddening thing about all this is bro had this doo-doo ass trim for 3 years before he customized it. Our KSI's friends scared of him because how did they let him do this to himself for 3 years? In 2015, my guy possibly nerfed himself even more by committing the most sinful act of all by getting a high top. Y'all already know what I think of high tops. But what makes it even more nefarious is the fact that this nigga attempted to style it with his McDonald's hairline looking like Baby Turk from Tarzan. But finally, in 2016, he did the whole planet a favor and went bald. I can't even lie, KSI bald gives me an incline of the uncanny valley like something just isn't right. But a lot of his fans want him to return to this haircut. For all his bad haircuts, his hair in 2017 made up for it. It was so hard, the small curly dreads went crazy. By far prime, JJ. He didn't really get bad haircuts until 2020, where he had this hot Cheetos-looking, haircut. Honestly, a lot of his haircuts are made worse by his mega-mind forehead. But it's for these reasons why he's the face of bad haircuts on YouTube. Some of y'all might not know this next entry, but we have Connie's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend after the Playboy Max basketball video, Aaron. What happened to this guy is straight up despicable. Tell me why a guy has been talking crazy about you for months. He's been attempting to flirt with your girl for months. He's even got people shipping her and him together whilst you're dating her. You 1v1 him in basketball with the women you love on the line, whilst she watches and you get Molly walked straight up obliterated, whilst he's disrespecting you the whole time while your girl's laughs in the background. Then he takes your girl on a date which you've paid for. Then you try and talk in the middle of the date and he shushes you, and like a good little dog, you remain silent whilst they continue on their date, completely ignoring you. He's got the internet calling him Aaron 22. I wouldn't wish this shit on my worst enemy. But he didn't help himself. This guy really stepped out to battle his op with no lineup, no fade, and beardless. Like my guy ain't got no swag, you have to be equipped to do battle. This guy is completely swagless. This guy has no aura, moving like Kuroko from Kuroko's basketball. Honestly, I'm not going to go to hard on bro because he already done humiliated himself for the whole internet to see. I know the title says YouTubers, but I couldn't let this last entry slide. Miles Morales has to be on here. Firstly, compared to the movie version of him, video game Miles is so much lamer than the movie Miles. Like there was a scene in Across the Spider-Verse where Miles was dapping up his homies. I don't even think Imsonian's Miles has friends. Like, bruh. Imsoniac really gave this man the default Killmonger dreads. Not only did they give him high top dreads, they swooped it over to the side. This has to be considered a hate crime. Forget all the fancy graphics, the only thing they needed to add to this game was a barber. Because how you gone make my boy look lesbian, I already know no black person was in the design room when they cooked this shit up. I just had to get this shit off my chest. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe, we're trying to get 10 subscribers. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, I hope you return. Love you guys.